knows. Now he had a small moment where he had the Zolnaga tower, sees all the units, sees the links with speed coming into the roaches, and oh, these Hellions, they're gonna get a nice head start on taking down those Zerglings.
You know, Starburst is a contradiction. It's solid yet GC.
Boring. Living dead. That is a contradiction, my friend.
Starburst exists in two.
Best of 3.
You know, Starburst is a contradiction. It's solid yet GC.
Boring. Living dead. That is a contradiction, my friend.
Starburst exists in two.
You are boring me to death, and I am already dead. You're boring me back to death.
Starburst, it's a juicy contradiction.
Eventually hit the SCV count, 15 SCV difference, 3 orbital commands, Florzines in a good position. Oh no, a tank comes out, which is going to deal the DPS, the Bailings stuck behind the roaches, the supply depots go down, the SCVs need to run, they need to hide, they have to disappear.
One more Baneling is going to get a decent connection, but this is a beautiful defense from Thorzane.
Look at that, look at that. 3 command centers, double engineering bay, it doesn't help him, but now it will. Now
Okay, I just talked a long time and was muted, or at least for a minute or so, and it was like good info. Lol. Okay, I'm just gonna tell Trident to tune it. Okay, so that was really silly. But anyway, would you guys like some music too at the same time? Okay guys, so watching the stream, what I was basically talking about is a Roach Bane all-in. Given that we're kind of joining this game kind of late, and it does look like Florzane is ahead, this game did start out with a Roach Bane all-in, which is a very common strategy these days, given that Terrans are playing ridiculously greedy, and one of the ways to punish greed is to all-in it, obviously. And one of the best all-ins in the game right now is the Roach Bane all-in off 2 bases. We look at Forzane's build, and that's actually pretty good against a Roach Bane all-in. Despite being greedy with 3 CCs, he gets Hellions relatively early and an early Banshee. And a Roach Bane all-in happens with 38 drones usually. So it's 38 drones, and given if you have 3 CCs, you usually have about 43, 45 SCVs. The aim of the Roach Bane all-in, if not to kill the Terran, is to kill as many SCVs as possible and cripple them. And Forzane, I don't believe he lost really that many SCVs at all. Like, even if it was 20, 25 or 23 SCVs against 38 drones, that's actually a really decent position to be in for a Terran with the mules and stuff. And at this point in the game, Forzane just got ahead on upgrades, and the Roach Bane all-in didn't do enough damage, is pretty much what happened. He microed really well, and he's now capable of dropping all over the map and doing a lot of damage. And here we just have Marines in a drone line just killing all the drones. Marines absolutely everywhere, dropping absolutely everywhere. This is Forzane how we like to see him play. He's actually playing more aggressive than he usually does, but I guess it's because he felt so comfortable after the Roach Bane all-in. So that is game 2, and is now 1-1 between these 2 players. And that's a pretty nice position to be in. Forzane lost the first game because he got a bit too antsy and moved out a bit too early. I mean, he was in a decent position. It was like 130 supply Terran, 130 supply Zerg, Roach Bane, Ling, and then all it took was sort of doing a big swoop in and just connected a few Banelings and crushed Forzane. Forzane didn't have siege for a long time. I don't know why he was out on the map in the first place. But yeah, it was really close. So the next game I'll be able to talk about it in great detail with you guys. And yeah. So obviously my audio is going to be delayed. What I'm doing here is watching the WCS finals, commentating Forzane against Sortov, and going to do some questions now with you guys. How would I have reacted to that match personally? Pretty similar to how Forzane did, I guess. The Banshee holds off the Roach Bane all-in, you can see it. Yeah, I can turn on the sound of the stream a little bit actually, so we can hear a bit. Hopefully my sound's a bit louder than the streams, but just, yeah, going to talk about it a little bit. Not going to run any commercials or anything. My WCS seems pretty fine. But anyway, we do have the third map going. It is Ahana. They're all cheering for the crowds right now. It's very standard right now, both going up for 9 out of 11, 9 out of 10 on drones and SCVs. And just talking about these 2 players, Forzane, he's going to do the same build every game, no doubt about it. 15 gas, and then barracks, 1 marine, reactor Hellion. Like, he's going to do the same build every game, and sort of he's the guy that needs to mix it around a bit. It's always worth throwing out a Roach Bane all-in if you know what build your opponent's doing and if you think you can crush it. Especially if you're playing a series. If it's best of 1, it's probably not the best thing to do, but yeah, I mean, it's one of those builds that works. Like it works, even if you give it 50% chance of working, that's huge, and it can make your opponent play really scared from that point on. So Forzane, he's putting his barracks at the front. One of the things that he likes to do is scout with his first marine. So he puts the barracks at the front, then scouts with the first marine. And then he lifts the barracks up, moves it back, and then just goes for 15 gas, a CC, at the front with the 2 depots. One of the reasons he puts his CC at the front, rather than leaving his barracks there for the swap, is because if 8 links come or whatever, and he's trying to swap his barracks with his factory, those links can get in, and that can be GG pretty much right there and then. So one of the things that he doesn't like to do is keep his barracks and his factory at the front. It's much safer to put your CC at the front. So we see Sortov going for 15 hatch, Forzane, yes, 15 gas, barracks at the front, producing a marine and getting an orbital command. So standard builds from both of these players. While it isn't the most standard build from Forzane, for him it is standard. This is one of the builds that he very much likes in this matchup, and he's pretty confident in TVZ, which is nice to see. So yeah, we do see the barracks is going to be lifted up, and he's going to produce the CC at the front. He's a man that, very stylistic, likes to keep things in check and keep, you know, just keep everything methodical. keep everything normal for him. He doesn't like to play out of his element, doesn't like to do anything risky. He's known as the Spoon Terran for a reason. He's slow and methodical. We see sort of not making a guess as of yet, so it looks like he's doing the Mass Queen opening, which is a very, very good opening. It's one of the best going. So I'm just checking what the chat's saying. I can't disable the overlay, guys. You have to watch both streams at the same time. And so I can watch this stream. If I just re-streamed their stream, that'd be pretty bad-mannered, and I'm pretty sure that's illegal. So what I'm doing is just talking about that stream. So for now, you're just going to see my face with this overlay. So yeah, guys, if you're watching, or if you're just listening and you don't know what's going on, there is a WCS stream going, so go over to teamliquid.net and load up the WCS Sweden finals. There is a match going on, and it is the grand finals of Thorzain, or WCS Sweden, between Thorzain and Sortov. So, we see Thorzain's actually going for a different build. Reactor Hellion, but then double barracks. Is it double barracks? Yeah, double barracks. So, yeah, this looks peculiar. But it does look like Sortov is going to scout this with his Overlord. So that's pretty big. If you see Thorzain mixing up his builds already, that's a pretty big sign. We do see that he is making Hellions, Marauders, and Stim. So, no third CC. That's pretty big. So, different build for Thorzain. Looks like it's going to be a Marine, Hellion, timing, I guess. Could do a little bit of damage, hoping to kill the third of sort of, if it does happen. Sort of's playing pretty standard. Queens got enough gas for speed, then kept one guy on gas. That's a normal build. Getting good creep spread, 4 or 5 queens out. Just 2 Hellions out on the map. Now going for a starport, so yeah, it's going to be a Marine Hellion timing with a Medevacs and a couple of Hellions. That's a nice build to do. It can punish early greedy thirds, which sort of is going for an early third, but not that... Oh, he does lose a Hellion, but he kills 2 creep tumors. That's actually worth it, I think. We do hear claps from the crowd, so that's cool. It's nice to see that like the place is getting pumped. A Baneling nest this early, sort of. That's good. You need either Banelings or Roaches to deal with this. You can't deal with this with just Lings. Or you can, but not efficiently. You need Banelings to connect. We do see Thorzain's actually trying to deny scouting as much as possible. And sort of just playing pretty well. He's getting good creep spread. He's not worrying too much. He's getting Lings relatively early, which is a good sign. You need to build up those Ling numbers. Cut off harass. His vision of the map is really bad though. Like, he has one Overlord behind the natural, and that's it. He doesn't have Overlords around the edges or anything. And while Thorzain, I don't believe he will go around the edge with his Medevac. He'll just cut straight through the middle. This is pretty risky. We do see that sort of is getting 1-1 upgrades. It's also good. He's getting more drones now, and Thorzain's actually pushing out onto the map now with Marauders, Marines. And this attack actually needs to do quite a bit of damage. People are saying that this is just like an opening. No, this needs to do damage. This is very, very early. Like, this is incredibly early. And sort of needs to realize that. What happened just then was Thorzain tried to control the tower. Oh, he's got 3 Overlords out of position. These 3 Overlords are going to die, but they're not actually showing... Okay, there they show it on the stream. So that's huge. Those 3 Overlords dying is actually huge. That is a game-losing mistake by sort of almost. And Thorzain, he is pushing, he's onto creep, he does lift up, he saves pretty much everything besides 2 Marines, but killing those 3 Overlords, that's actually put him in a pretty decent position. He's behind on upgrades, he hasn't got a 3rd building at all, and it looks like he's just going to be playing Bio? Mass Bio, wow. So he's going into 5 barracks play, Mass Bio with upgrades. I haven't seen this out of Thorzain ever. I don't know if he's just uncomfortable with this map, or just hoping to catch sort of off guard. Thorzain's a smart player, but this play is kind of crazy. Maybe he just realizes he has another best of 3 in hand and wants to do... If you can win the whole tournament with this, might as well throw it out once or twice. Oh, okay. Thorzain's coming in. Okay, Thorzain's going in for the 3rd. He's got Marauders, Marines, Hellions. Sort of just got so many drones killed. His Lings are dying. Thorzain's actually owning here. He's set up behind the hatchery at the 3rd. And these Banelings and these banelings need to connect, and they didn't connect at all. The Lings have got a little surround on these Marines, and the 1-1 does kick in, the upgrades do, but sort of's losing so much, and if he loses his third, this game could be over. We have 30 Lings on the way right now. Extra upgrades going up 2-2 for sort of, but that third does actually die. Wow. Thorzane takes a huge lead now, and he gets away with his medevacs too, and roughly 10 supply worth of units. Or 8 supply worth of units, that is incredible. Now he's on 5 barracks. He's just started putting up his third though. That's one thing that could be a bit bad, but in general he's pretty fine. And it's sort of, he looks like he's going to be launching a massive counterattack. Wow. It feels rather, I think he feels he's more behind than he actually is, but he's got 80 supply against a 95 Terran. That is not good. He's running banelings up to the natural though, and he's the wall isn't raised. Okay, the wall raised. Thorzane's supply blocked. This is terribly bad. Is he going to lose all these? This is so many banelings running into the natural of Thorzane. He's losing. Nice split, but lost so many. Oh my god! Way more SCVs died there. So this game has just been brought back to ground zero. This is incredible. But wow. Okay, Thorzane cancelled the third again. This is crazy. There's Lings in the natural of Thorzane. Thorzane's trying to deal with this as much as he can, but lots more Zerglings join the fray, so more Lings dying. This natural has been totally denied, but Thorzane is dropping the main of Sword of, so he is doing as much damage as he possibly can, getting 2-2 upgrades on the way for Sword of. Thorzane's got no intention of getting 2-2. Sword of repels the attack in his main. Sword of now actually takes a supply lead, denied the natural and third of Thorzane for the time being, and now he's running way more banelings into Thorzane, blows up way more depots. Thorzane again supply blocked at 75 supply against 78. The one thing that I don't understand from Sword of is he has 2 queens just knocking about in the natural of Thorzane, and Thorzane's on 32 SCVs. He has 2 orbital commands and 1 command center, but he does hold. And oh my gosh, Thorzane did a drop in the natural of sort of, and he actually has a Marauder with 13 kills. These little drops from Thorzane are keeping him in this game. He's doing so much damage with them. He's actually getting 2-2 on the way now. Sort of's way ahead on his 2-2 though. His 2 attack did finish, but his armor's less than halfway done. And sort of just looks like he's resorting to just making Ling Baneling only, pretty much. He's not making drones at all. We do see another drop in the main of Sword of, and this queen is trying to deal with it solo. There was a few Lings trying to deal with it, but Sword of's launching another counterattack again. Drones are actually pulled to deal with this drop in the main now, and it will get cleaned. Oh wow, Thorzane actually saves a few units just by the skin of their teeth, and Sword of's about to launch another counterattack, and if there's any time to do it for him, this is the time to do it, because the 2-2 is not kicked in for Thorzane, and he's doing it. He's got so many banelings right now, in fact, maybe too many. And he throws the banelings at Thorzane. So many Lings in the fray too. I think this looks really, really bad for Thorzane right now. Sort of just running through Thorzane's base, and the SCVs are getting split. But if... okay. He just connected with roughly 20 SCVs, and sort of just killing Thorzane. It's 83 supply to 42. Thorzane's trying to do a counterattack, but this is ridiculous now. I mean, this has been such a crazy, hectic game. Thorzane doesn't have any SCVs mining, pretty much, and he's killing the natural. There's 2 hatcheries at the natural, so he's killing one of them, the main one, but Sword of's just doing way more damage than Thorzane is right now, and Sword of still has a main base. It's 80 supply to 26. He's actually holding in his main now. More banelings, more Lings, and Thorzane calls GG, well played. So Sword of takes the first series 2-1. Jeez. That is close. Ridiculously close. That was hectic. Yeah, and Thorzane takes a swig of his monster bottle. So this is the Swedish final, guys. This is the difference between like $3,000 and $6,000 and a better seed in the finals. So this is crazy, crazy stuff. Guys, my stream will be delayed by like 5 seconds or so. Or even more maybe for some people. But hopefully you get the gist. I'm trying to give you some insight from like my perspective. I know how Thorzane plays usually. And yeah, give you some infos. So, any questions, ask me on the chat. Try and talk about it with you guys. So if you want to ask me questions, either about me or that game, or this series, or about anything you want to, I can answer them for you. You ever get the chance to play Forza much, Ben? Yeah, I played him a little bit. He's not that confident in TVT though, so I played him while he was here. We mainly talked about TVC and TVP. So yeah. What do I think of map vetoes coming up? Map vetoes are map vetoes. TVC is pretty similar on every map, really. What do I think about Forzane's strat? He had a series to burn. I don't know how he feels about Ohana, but maybe he feels that confident in the next series. It's sometimes worth throwing out. I mean, it was working, it's just his follow-up seemed a bit funny. Let's see. How come he isn't comfortable with the bio-only style he just went? I think he is comfortable with any style he plays, it's just he's most comfortable with 3 CCs and 15 gas. That's the play that he usually does. But sort of actually played really well. My stream's not up on TL. I can put it up. Thank you for that. Okay, why did I stop doing the 15 gas build? One of the reasons is I hated it against roach players, and I hated it against early pressure players. I didn't feel it was as greedy as it should be. There's a lot of things I just didn't like about it. I told Marcus Forzane that I just didn't feel comfortable. He relies more on earlier tanks than I do. I rely more on bio than he does. And it just wasn't a style that suit me. So we talked about it a lot, and I mean, we both have plays that end like point A to point B, or point A to point B. They're both very similar, but getting there, totally different. And one of the things I didn't feel very comfortable with is getting to point B with that style. I'm more of a bio guy, he's more of a mechy, tanky guy. But let's see what's being said. More questions. I am watching Forzane, I'm watching the WCS stream. That's what we're watching together, and I'm just commentating it and giving my insight on it. You can probably hear it in the background a little bit. Okay, so we're talking about the vetoes. Forzane vetoed Daybreak. It's a reasonable Daybreak. He vetoes Cloud Kingdom too, and sort of eliminates Tal'Darim and Shakuras. Getting rid of Shakuras Plateau is just purely because it's harder to take a third. And if you do try and take your third, getting dropped in the main and the third simultaneously, it's hard to deal with both of them since they're both very far away. And Tal'Darim, it's just kind of a messy map. Like, for a Zerg, the third has rocks at it, and so Terran playing greedy as shit, like they can get away with it because you can't do that. Forzane vetoing Daybreak, it's a hard map to apply pressure. It's a hard map to stop Zerg from getting their 4th and 5th bases. Hard map to stop them taking their 3rd base. It's just a hard map. And so I understand that veto from Forzane. And Cloud Kingdom, you guys may be like, why do you veto Cloud Kingdom? But the answer is it's just a very easy map to creep spread on. There's towers for control with Zerglings. And there's a lot of space. If you think about spreading creep from the Zerg 3rd around that way, and spreading creep from the natural that way, there's too many spots for you to try and cover with just Hellions to try and deny this creep, and so it's a very easy map to creep spread, and it eventually gets out of control. And you can get kept to 3 to 4 bases as Terran very easily, while the Zerg gets up to 5, 6, 7 bases. I'm going to check what chat's saying. Okay guys, for people just tuning in, we are watching WCS Sweden. I'm going to be talking, or you guys are going to be asking me questions, I'm just going to be commentating it and such, so... And the map I was talking about just then was Cloud Kingdom. So yeah, we're watching sort of. Western Wolf Zerg against Forzane. It's a pretty cool poster of Forzane. Forzane is a sexy hunk. That's actually a really good photo. I mean, picture. Really good drawing. So anyway, we do have... Yeah, Forzane's my teammate, obviously, so I may appear a little biased, but I'll try and keep it as unbiased as possible and talk about these maps. I'm not controlling the ops camera, obviously. But yeah, I'm just going to try and keep things pretty good for you guys. I'm just going to lower this. Oh, sugar. I just closed my stream chat. That sucks. Loading it back up. I tried to make it smaller. In turn, just closed it completely. So yeah, the intro's been done, EG Thorzane. So no, I'm not restreaming it. I'm just talking about, I'm not allowed to restream it, as far as I can tell. Like, restreaming a stream and lynching off, like, their money and viewers, technically, that's bad. But if I can just commentate, like, I wouldn't want people to do that to me, so I just appreciate the fact that, I just appreciate that fact, you guys. Because I wouldn't want it done to myself, and I think it's illegal anyway. So guys, we do have the first map coming up. And I'm not stealing, like, that many viewers. In fact, I'm probably, like, you have to watch their stream to get it, or you just treat me as a radio. Okay, so we have in Terran Valley. We have Thorzane spawning in the top right as the blue Terran, and sort of spawning in the bottom right as the red Zerg. Obviously, the only positions on this map that you really don't want to see is top left, top right, or bottom left, bottom right, because the rush distance is too short. Your thirds are literally a 10-second walk away for a worker. And it's just silly. Creep spread can be at your door in no time, and yeah. So we see Thorzane is playing his 15 gas build with the 12 racks. Sort of's first Overlord will be scouting that barracks almost immediately, and one thing that he does that was really nice here, he scouts the depot, just the depot, not enough to be seen, given that Thorzane doesn't really scout with an SCV, and then runs his Overlord away before he got spotted. So Thorzane still has no idea where Sort of is. And Sort of, yeah, he knows where Thorzane is, he probably knows what build he's going to be going for too, and Thorzane now sends out his initial Marine, goes scouting and stuff, does his build that he's very used to, and so we're starting off with a very, very normal game from both of these players. We see Sort of has a drone in the middle, that is going to get spotted by this Marine, and he runs the drone back to his base straight away. This is one of those things that I'm kind of like, The drone could always just run left of the Zelnaga tower and pretend he's in the bottom left rather than the bottom right. That could actually throw Thorzane off a lot. But that's something to think about. So we have Thorzane doing his build where he goes factory. Oh, wow, what's happening here? Okay, so he's going barracks and factory again. So it looks like he's doing a very similar build to what he did the last game on Ahana. Which, that confuses me a little bit. So yeah, Sort of going for a Queen build. Also adding on gases. And Thorzane, going for 2 barracks and a factory. Reactor going down on the barracks and going for the switch, eventually I guess, to Hellions. One of the things that this build is not good against, so this build has a few good points and bad points. One thing is, the third is so much later. So much later. Another thing is, holding off a Roach Bane all-in, it's really hard. You don't have the Banshee. And that makes it so hard to hold off, and if he does kill, like, let's say 10, 15 SCVs, you don't have the third CC to help catch up on that. So yeah, we see the exact same build coming out of Thorzane here, where he's on double gas, he's getting Stim, he's getting Hellions, he's getting Marines, and eventually after these 2 Hellions, like we saw the last game, he actually switched out and got a starport where that factory was on the reactor, and then whipped out 2 medevacs. And by the sounds of it, they're not showing it on stream right now, but I think he is going to be doing the same build again. So that's crazy. We see Sort of throwing down a Roach Warren, and yes, Thorzane's going for the exact same build he did last game. Sort of this time though, going for Roaches instead of Banelings. Things to like about Roaches against Marine Hellion, well, they don't really die to either of them. The Hellions become a bit useless. But they don't have that solid pow, I'm going to counter-attack you kind of feel to them. Unless you get speed, obviously, but one of the things is Thorzane isn't on 3 CCs, so he can play kind of methodical. I guess he's getting Roaches too on this map, because taking down the rocks is much easier with Roaches. Queens and Zerglings do like 1 to 2 damage per hit to the rocks, in between the natural and the third. Wow, this is a lot of Roaches coming out. This is 12 Roaches. And lots of Lings, so he's going Roachling all in. Unless he throws down a Baneling nest pretty soon. Baneling, what? Roach Bane all in. this is pretty sick. So, sort of, this is one of the builds I don't like to play against when I do this kind of build by Thorzane. He has no like solid unit that's capable of tanking or dealing a lot of damage to roaches. Like he has marauders and stuff, and we see sort of taking a weird approach round the right side of the map. I believe this Baneling Nest is late, or it's oh my gosh. Okay, so we have roaches in the middle of the map. He's going to see what's coming. So he's seen Marines, Marauders, Medevacs, and sort of is just actually going to go for the main, it looks like. He's actually losing these. He lost a couple of roaches in the middle, but he's got these roaches around the edge of the map, and he does pick up. Is he going to pick off a Marauder? Okay, he didn't pick off the Marauder. That's pretty huge. But Thorzane's already building up bunkers in his natural, so Thorzane looks like he's actually getting more prepared for this. Sort of actually has like 500, 600 minerals to spend right now, 100 gas, so he's kind of messed this up a little bit macro-wise. But Thorzane, he needs to micro his frickin' ass off. He has a lot of Banelings. The Banelings, the Banelings, the Banelings. They're not being like babysat for. The Banelings are coming. They're gonna. Oh, the Banelings have been wasted. Wow, he sucked with those Banelings. We have a lot of Lings on the way there, so they can reinforce a lot faster. But it looks like Thorzane's actually done very well at holding this through like good play, kind of waiting till the last minute. He waited for his opponent to make mistakes, and that's exactly what sort of did. He made mistakes, and Thorzane, wow, held that off really, really easily. If you're watching the stream, the WCS stream, and that was a bit delayed, those like 6 to 8 Banelings did absolutely nothing. Thorzane had to play with fire the whole time there, and now Thorzane's actually really far ahead. Even though he's on just 2 CCs, his opponent is 2, he didn't really lose any SCVs. He's ahead on tech, he's getting 1-1, he's got combat shields, stim, he's got Marauders, Hellions, Marines, and Medevacs, so he's in, like, his army's pretty decent too. And one of the things is, Terran, even if they do have to like keep on producing SCVs, they can also produce units. One of the things for Zerg is, if you get into this position which Thorzane's in, if you keep on applying pressure, you keep forcing them to produce units when they really want to produce drones. It's like, if you try and do a bit of both, you can't really get out enough of the units most of the time when a Terran's really applying pressure off 2 bases, so Thorzane's just going to be applying pressure non-stop from this point on. And I guess this is kind of what he wanted to happen last game. Not necessarily get all in, but he wanted to be in a position where he can kind of get ahead and then just keep on applying pressure. I don't know if he's scared of sort of's late game, or he's just confident in this new strategy of his. But micros well, denies the third, drops the natural, does a lot of damage there to drones, and yeah, he's just not going to stop this pressure now. He's putting up 3 more barracks, putting up a third, getting 1-1. And I mean, he's dropping the natural, using this little funky spot where he goes on the cliff, goes on the low ground, goes on the high ground, stays in range of the drones the whole time, and hasn't lost anything yet, and is taking out the spawning pool too. Sort of's in a world of pain right now. Banelings do connect! Oh, Thorzane just lifts up at the last second, pretty much. And is he going to start drop? Okay, he tried to drop Marauders on Banelings. That was really freaking cool. But sort of does look like he's stabilizing. While he hasn't got a third up, or while he is stabilizing, he hasn't got a third up, which is like a really, really horrible spot to be in. And sort of looks like he's going to do what he did on Nahana last game, where he's just going to launch a counter-offensive. And I mean, that is probably the only thing he can do. But in fact, yeah, Thorzane has barely anything at his natural right now. But he does see it coming, sends out 2 Marauders, and he does see everything coming. So Thorzane is going to counter-drop the main while getting attacked at the front by a lot. Oh, holy crap, that's a lot of Banelings. Lots of Banelings blowing up this wall, and sort of is connecting with these Banelings into the force of Thorzane, but he is dropping the main at the same time. He's going to lose his spawning pool by the looks of it. Banelings, Banelings! The Banelings kind of just like danced with the SCVs and were like, hey, we're going to blow you up, but we're not really going to blow you up kind of thing. And these Banelings, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? These oh my god, Thorzane got away with a huge chunk of Banelings. I mean, SCVs, that was insane. Does kill the spawning pool. No more Lings on the way. That's huge. He's reproducing the spawning pool. Roaches, GG is called. Wow. That was a really intense game. Wow. That was intense for Thorzane. I was with him the whole way, but yeah, that looked freaking hard, man. Really, really hard. Okay, I'm gonna try and connect my chat. Okay, we're gonna do some questions pretty soon, given that like that was a pretty cool game. So I'm gonna load up my chat again because I opened it in the wrong window. Pause. Okay, guys, my chat's open now, so we can do some questions in between games. Okay, so we're going to do some questions with you guys. Okay, let's see. How did you get into the Pro League, and more specifically EG? The Pro League, when StarCraft 2 first came out, I used a random alias called Glad He Ate Her, which was just, I didn't want to be known as DeMusliM in case I sucked. And I started playing in Zotacs and such early on. It was just like weekly tournaments. And I started doing pretty okay in them, and then eventually I just said, hey, I'm DeMusliM from Warcraft 3, and it was like, oh, cool. And I just started, like, the scene was much smaller back then, and it was much easier to get a name for yourself. And eventually, like, I started doing much better at, like, more international tournaments. And EG contacted me and said, hey, we'd like you on the team. And I was like, that's awesome. EG's an awesome team, and that's how it came to pass. Okay, so the next map is underway already, so it is Antigua Shipyard, with Thorzain spawning in the bottom right, sort of obviously spawning on the other side of the map in the top left. Do some questions in the meantime. Did I watch Gumiho? I didn't, I was asleep. Doing some questions. Do I think GB deserves as many spots for the EU finals as Sweden? I think the real question is, doesn't Sweden deserve more spots? Or... that's a tough question. That is a tough question, because I think GB did deserve 3 spots, but I just think Sweden deserves like 5 or 6, to be honest. We see people like Swordov and Cyplo that people may have not heard much about, but they're doing really well. And people like Sase and Naniwa missed out on the top 3, so there's huge things happening, but to say like, hey, does UK really deserve like only 1 or 2 spots? That'd be stupid to say, because yeah, it just would. I mean, there's a lot of talented players all over the world. Having more spots and such available is cool. So we see Thorzain's doing the same build again, the 15 gas, 12 Rex. And it depends, like, what he does next is the real big thing, because we've seen that he has 2 follow-ups to this build so far, which is, one of them is the 3cc kind of play. The other one is this kind of Hellion Medevac Marauder pressure that he does. Which seems to do quite a bit of damage if it works out well. So guys, if you're just tuning into the stream, I'm not playing games right now, I'll be playing after this tournament's over. Oh, okay, so the start of this game, Swordov's going for that Overlord Scout pattern. Oh wow, he's heading back, okay, that's crazy. So he's got the Overlord going around the edge of the map, so Thorzain does scout it with a Marine, and start trying to kill it. We see Thorzain's actually throwing down a CC. A factory, and it looks like he's going for his factory 3cc build this game, given that he didn't produce a second barracks before the factory, so that's nice. That's a relief for me to see, because he's 1-0 up now with that build that's kind of funky. But yeah, I like this. I feel, I've seen him play this a lot, and I feel more comfortable with this as a teammate, but also a Terran viewer, because I feel that last build he has to get a bit lucky. Which it's worth throwing out builds like that, and yeah, 3rd CC is going down right now. Swordov on the other hand, he's gone for this gas, relatively normal time I guess, and Queens, so he's going to be getting early speed and Queens. One of the nice things about this build for Swordov has a lot of paths to go down. It can be Roaches afterwards, Speedlings afterwards, Roachbane all in, Roachling all in. It's got a lot of all in things, but it's also just a nice tech build, you know. It's good to get you where you want to be, and it does look like he's just droning up for now, which is the smart move. It's not doing anything too funky, taking guys off gas too, once he hits 104 speed. And Thorzain's going for Banshee after the Hellion, so I'm really happy with Thorzain's build this game. He's got his natural now. He's floating over there, sort of still droning up. Supply-wise, it's 48 to 29. Forzane's just scouting around. And one thing I want to point out with Forzane's scouting with these Hellions, he just scouted with the Hellions. One Hellion goes directly to his third base, just checks around the whole map for lings or whatever, or hidden units, I don't know. The other Hellion goes directly to the Zerg base. One of the things that checks for is Roach Bane all-in. You can check where their creep is. If their creep's further behind than it normally is, that usually indicates they're doing some kind of pressure build, like Roach Bane all-in. But also he can just go up the ramp if needs be, and see exactly what's going on. So right now, given that creep is only at the bottom of the ramp, if I was Thorzane, I'd be a bit like, feels a bit weird, sort of, feels a bit weird. So he's got 4 Hellions on the map now, he's going to be up to 6 soon. And yeah, so it's kind of weird, because sort of hasn't shown any kind of unit, hasn't showed speedlings, hasn't shown roaches, hasn't shown anything. And Thorzane's playing this greedy style that we've seen him do earlier on in the first series, which is getting double engineering bay, getting marines, tanks, medevacs, very, very, very normal Terran versus Zerg army. We see sort of's actually going for that kind of Stefano style where you get some roaches and then you take a third. Like you take a later third than you would normally. You don't really get upgrades on the roaches, you just get melee and armor. Because the roaches are just to let you survive. They are also to tank a little bit throughout the game. We see sort of's actually scouting the main base too of Thorzane. You just see the double engineering bays, just see the starport, sees the double barracks. So he sees this barracks going down on the tech lab too. So they both know exactly what the other one's doing. He hasn't been tricked by any like cloak, fake cloak or anything. He's seen the starports without an add-on. So he knows exactly what's coming. So sort of's in a pretty decent spot. He's producing 5 overlords at once, which that's a bit debatable. Doesn't want to get supply blocked again, I guess, so just went overboard. Thorzane doesn't really have the ability to apply pressure for a while, so sort of should be taken, and the reason that he doesn't have the ability to apply pressure and sort of should know it, the production was so limited of Thorzane. Like a second barracks just finishing. This Banshee's actually doing a bit of damage to drones, takes out roughly 3 to 4 drones. That was good. Thorzane's in a comfortable position, and Thorzane just takes his third straight away before the 10-minute mark, and that is huge, and I don't think Sort of scouted this. Producing lots more barracks, getting 1-1 faster than Sort of. So Thorzane's played ridiculously greedy this game. Wow. So Sort of's response to seeing all of this, he hasn't seen the third yet, but okay, he's seen the gas of the third now, I do believe. He's producing a lot of roaches. Speed roaches, getting upgrades for lings, melee and armor. Getting a couple of spores too. Getting a lot of lings. Wow, I'd love to see his drone count, what his drone count was at. That would help significantly to find out what he's aiming for this game. He is getting an infestation pit, and Thorzane's moving out on the map again with this kind of like 6 Hellion, 10 Marine, 1 tank army. Which I don't like. That's one of the things that is very, very scary for a Terran to do. It's at like the 11-minute mark in the game, and he's moving out onto the map with a pretty poo army, to be honest. He has no way of retreating, and I don't know if it's just a feint to kind of pretend that you're attacking, but then to fall back and make them produce units. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. But on the off chance that this Zerg actually went for like a 10 to 11 minute attack on you, you could be in a world of trouble. Like a world of trouble. What if just like 50 speedlings just surrounded your army? You're dead. You just lost that army. So yeah, that's very risky by Thorzane, and with no getaway, with no like medevacs there, I'm surprised he did that, but he didn't lose out. He's now got a lot of barracks underway. He's actually denying expos with a single marine, which is a really good move. I don't know why I'm yawning so much. I think it's because I'm nervous. So we have sort of trying to get up a 4th base, 5th base-ish. Thorzane's going to start dropping at this point, and this map's actually kind of hard to drop on. It's easy to drop like the 4th, 5th, 6th base, whatever, but dropping the initial 3, if you get at spore crawls and stuff, it's hard. It's hard to do damage. We actually see that Thorzane's way ahead on upgrades right now, getting 2-2. Hello, Poa. So yeah, Poa just joined the fray. So we have Banshee denying the 4th with a Viking. The Viking's kind of a cool touch. So he just goes around with his Viking denying Overlord Scout, so the drops will do more damage eventually. I don't think he cancelled the 4th either. Wow, that's pretty huge. Thorzane ahead on upgrades, almost about to hit 2-2. Sort of, kind of defending these drops with Queens. 6 Marines do land though, and they're enough to deal quite a bit of damage to drones. And Thorzane doing what he does best. He's really good at clicking, very accurate clicks, and just pick out like 6 drones straight away. Sort of way behind in upgrades. He's pretty much just started his level 2 Carapace upgrade as Thorzane's finishing 2-2. So if there was any time for Thorzane to really, and yeah, Thorzane starts walking across the map now. His 2-2's just finishing, his combat shields is finished too, and Thorzane's just going to never stop applying pressure from this point on. Producing 3 tanks at a time, 9 Marines at a time, but sort of's got a really good position on him, and this could end pretty badly. And wow, sort of coming in from every angle right now. Lots of Lings, lots of Roaches, Infestors too, and Thorzane, wow, holy shit, he's getting absolutely bopped left, right and center. Has to fall back pretty hard, and sort of, wow, that was incredible play by him. Thorzane just wasn't prepared for that at all. I mean, that was a nice time to move out in terms of upgrades, but in terms of army value and such, sort of, you know how to play this game, good sir. And lots of infested Terrans going down. Thorzane's focusing Infestors as much as he can with these Marines and tanks, doing a really good job. But there's so many Roaches at him, and I mean, Thorzane's just lifting up, like he's still microing really hard. He's not out this game just yet. He's ahead on upgrades, which is a really, really big thing. He's getting level 3 armor before he's getting level 3 weapons though, so he's obviously a little nervous. He's losing his 3rd is under siege right now, and Queen's coming across the map too. This is the weirdest thing I've seen from sort of's play. Just keeps sending Queens at his opponent, which they don't really do that much. I mean, they did a few transfusions, but Thorzane's 3rd has been stopped, and I mean, at this point, we have sort of that's got pretty decent upgrades. I guess he's 2-1 right now against 2-2. He's done a lot of damage. He's repelled the initial scary push. He's up to 77 drones against 58. He's actually denying the 4th of Thorzane too. Thorzane's about to lose his command center. It's like 30 health. It's on fire. He drops a mule. He drops a mule to try and repair it. He drops a mule. It does kind of save it for a little bit, but there is a corruptor that comes along and starts shooting, and then he loses his 4th command center. One thing that I want to point out, in all the midst of this chaos, the 4th is up for sort of. So he denied the 3rd of Thorzane for a while. He's getting a Greater Hive, getting Corruptors, getting Infestors, getting a lot of stuff basically that's capable of killing Terran. But the supplies are pretty close, and I mean Thorzane, Thorzane tries to take a fight, just starts sniping off Infestors, and he needs to keep these Infestor counts low. He needs to keep the energy low, either force fights. But yeah, losing center control is a big, big thing. We have 3 Broodlords on the way, more Corruptors, Adrenal Glands on the way. Thorzane's soon to hit 3 armor on his Marines, which is a pretty weird number to hit. I mean, it makes him better against Zerglings, I guess, but I think it was just a mistake. And he does pick off a Broodlord. Is he picking off a 2nd Broodlord? 2nd Broodlord down. So the Broodlords in the cocoons were getting picked off. So that's pretty nice. Keeps him in the game for a little bit longer, because he isn't prepared for Broodlords at all. He hasn't got multiple starports up, and this puts Thorzane in a sticky situation. We do have sort of on 4 bases now, so producing like a madman, but the supply is 146 to 122, and he's kind of losing Broodlords. Like, Broodlords aren't a good unit to have when you have nothing else, and I mean, he has like 20 Lings on the map right now, a few Roaches, a few Infestors with that energy, and he just needs to try and keep his 4th alive. If he does that, he can win the game. If he doesn't, he's going to die. Thorzane's now producing 4 Vikings at a time. Sort of's actually focusing tanks with his Broodlords. Thorzane's going to pick off Broodlords here. He picks off the Broodlords. That is huge move, huge move, huge move. Thorzane's 134 supply against 146, 142 against 134. It is so close at this point. Thorzane's just throwing units at him, trying to break through, trying to break this 4th. But Thorzane, it looks like he... Oh my god, I don't know if he's going to get repelled or if he's going to kill this. I don't know what's happening. 132 supply against 140. It is so close. Fungals are landing. It's just tanks, and a fungal lands, and that is going to be enough to clean up this attack from Thorzane. It does look like sort of gaining a bit of an advantage, but the Vikings fly in. There's nothing to hit the Vikings. There's 4 Vikings, 4 Broodlords, so those Broodlords will start dying one by one very slowly. No energy on these Infestors, and yes, Thorzane is fighting back. These 4 Vikings are going to kill these Broodlords. So the supply is 127 for Thorzane against 140 from sort of, so they've been within 10 supply of each other for the last 5 minutes in a constant fight. So this has been a crazy game. Okay, just The Vikings landed on the floor, but Fungals land on all the Marines, and they all get kind of mashed, and lots of Zerglings join the fray from an angle. Thorzane is getting cleaned up at this point, but the supplies, 120 against 115, this is so close, ridiculously close. Swordov's actually brought more drones to this 4th base. He actually secured a 5th too in the midst of all this chaos, so this is one of the closest games I've seen in a long time. 130 supply, 130 supply. He's actually going for an Ultralist switch. They both actually have no money. Thorzane's just on 3 base, is powering through, trying to do as much damage as he can. Oh, a huge fungal lands on roughly 10 medevacs and 2 tanks, and is a second fungal lands too. 6 medevacs fall. Sort of gains a little bit of a supply lead, 130 to 125. Oh, Thorzane takes the supply lead for the first time in roughly 10 minutes in this game. In fact, for the first time this whole game, pretty much. Thorzane's just running through. He has control of the middle. He has control. Drones trying to fight. What is this? There's a Reaper at the 4th base. Sort of is losing supply rapidly. 105 supply to 120. Jeez. Thorzane... Oh my god, this is so ridiculously close. The Lings kind of repel. Thorzane's attacking the 4th and the 5th simultaneously. There's 60 drones on the field compared to 65 SCVs, but Thorzane's bases are mining out. These infestors are kind of trading. The Lings finally getting to the point where they can clean up the army. There's enough Lings to start dealing damage. 3-3 finally kicked in for Swordov, so he can finally start trading efficiently. Thorzane trying to land his command center at the middle base on Antigua, but it's covered in creep, and Swordov's just launching a bit of a counter with just a few Lings. There has never been more than like 30 supply of army on the field at any one time for either of these players. They've both been trying to trade as efficiently as possible. So now, even like after all that chaos happening, it's 130 supply to 120, sort of launching a counter, catching a few tanks out of siege. And Thorzane trying to micro as much as he can. Lots of infested Terrans go down, Zerglings go down, infestors fall, tanks fall, Marines fall. It's now 100 supply to 110, but there's Lings absolutely everywhere. The main base, the natural, the 3rd, just in small numbers, like 4 or 5 everywhere, but they're killing a lot of SCVs, and Thorzane, oh, this looks like the end of this game. Thorzane's down to 80 supply, gets 130. Finally, sort of managed to get himself back into the game. He was under pressure for such a long time, but finally managed to just put the pressure back at Thorzane and managed to stabilize his economy just a little bit. It's now 130 supply to 70, and 10 infestors on the field, 35 Lings, 67 drones, and Ultras are joining the fray. Once those Ultras get out, Thorzane is in a world of trouble. He's actually pulling SCVs at this point, so he does scan the middle. He sees that there isn't much left. He scans again, and a fungal. Oh, he didn't fungal. There is just a group of units. Tries to stabilize his 4th now, trying to land the command center, but it's 70 supply against 140. He doesn't realize how far he is behind at this point, but he doesn't want to give up another game. This was a really good opportunity for Thorzane to win this game. So now there's a lot of infestors on the field, even more Ultralists joining the fray. Swordov is actually on 5 bases at this point, and he does move in for the kill. Quite a few Lings, lots of infestors, and a couple Ultras, and GG. Thorzane calls GG well played. Jeez, so it's 1-1 in this series between Swordov and Thorzane. This is absolutely crazy play from both of them. That was an insane game. Insane game. Oh. That was crazy play. So guys, ask questions as much as you like. Okay, so some questions in the chat. I'll start answering a few things. Do I think Thorzane feels like you did in your finals at WCS? Probably not. Thorzane's a confident guy in this matchup, and I wasn't confident at all. Was that my parents you saw at WCS UK Nationals? It was my parents, probably. Why does Thorzane not go for the pure bio build? It doesn't really work. How do I feel about my matchups for the Aces tournament? What about Suppy? I feel pretty confident. Suppy feels confident too. What's the reasons that Thorzane often uses just one or more Reapers late game? I think it's a mistake. Sometimes he's just showboating, I guess. I don't know. Sometimes they have their use, but not really. There's better things to do with your supply and money. And what do I think of sort of thus far? He's obviously a very good player. One of the things that WCS has done is allow players that you've never heard of to do really well. Did anybody expect Huck to finish 10th at WCS Canada? Like, is he really the 10th best player in Canada? I mean, for a long time he was the limelight of Canada. He was the guy that put them on the map for a long time, but he finished 10th. He's technically speaking, Canada's 10th best player, which, that's huge. Where did all these 9 other players that we've never even thought, like, had a second thought about come from? I mean, WCS UK, I went there with Bling, and we were the favourites before the event, and Bling finished, again, like 10th. Does that make him the 10th best player, technically? Like, it's crazy. WCS has been so good for new players coming out of the woodwork, and sort of, is actually, like, a funny story. This is an EG Western Wolves final again. Zictamini is also of Western Wolves, and is a good teammate of sort of, so, yeah, sort of against Thorzane is very similar to me against Zictamini. Both very high-level Zergs from Western Wolves. Okay, so back to the game. It is Ahana. It is 1-1. This is the second best of 3 series between these two players. Thorzane was in the upper bracket and sort of did take the first series, so this is close. Thorzane immediately going for his 15 gas again. It's a build he likes on Ahana as he spawns at the bottom. Okay, so, sorry, I was just typing a little away. Was just talking to my friend, Liquid Ret. He's a nice guy. He's my mentor. Okay, so, Ahana, back to the game. So Ahana sort of did scout a 15 gas, puts down 15 hatch, goes for double queen, and as he throws down double queen, the timings of his gas are double queen, then gas. That's when he gets his extractor. So if you're a Zerg player going for that, it seems pretty decent. He seems to swear by it. Thorzane, on the other hand, gone for 15 gas, the CC at the front, along with the 2 depots, creating that wall off, and he's gone for factory after his barracks. He's also trying to deny scout with his single marine. He only gets 1 marine with this build. When he did the bio kind of pressure build, he used to go for the barracks before the factory. One of the things here, we do see that he is going to go for 3 CCs again. The big indicator of that is he builds his factory before his second barracks. And I mean, there's overlords coming in place for Mr. Sort of. One of the things I like to talk about Sort of's players, his first 2 initial overlords do fly around the map, trying to get into a good position to scout later on inside Thorzane's base. But everywhere else, he is totally blind. It's happened in multiple games, and maybe he's just annoyed of Thorzane's single Viking going around sniping overlords, but yeah, it just seems a bit funny to me. So anyway, Hellions coming out by Thorzane, or at least being produced, and a starport being produced. This starport is good against all-ins and such, and we'll watch to see what his Hellions do, but 1 Hellion, if I know Thorzane right, and he's a very stylistic player, 1 Hellion will go immediately to the opponent's base, the other Hellion will kind of walk around, kind of scout a little bit. And we do see that both Hellions kind of walking across the map. Okay, they're both just going to go straight for it, it does look like, so that's cool. He's playing very much like he does. Sort of did scout the natural going down, so he knows he's not getting all-end. And now we see 1 Hellion going for the 3rd base, and there is not a 3rd going down, but there is a Roach Warren going down. Holy shit. Is this going to be an all-in by Sort of? 2 queens holding off anything at the front. This is scary for Thorzane now, but Sort of's actually producing 10 drones at a time. Along with speed, he's got a good number of queens, getting creep spread up, and now he's going for his 3rd base. So Sort of either knows Thorzane's Hellion timings, or he's just playing well. I mean, he puts down his 3rd hatchery at 7 minutes. Thorzane's trying to deny creep as much as he possibly can, does get a creep tumor, takes quite a few hits from Hellions, and he's getting cloak this game. This is the first game we've seen cloak from Thorzane. This is really cool. No, there's an overlord going through the main though. There is an overlord going through the main. So this could be a big trigger. If this overlord's, like, they're not showing it yet on the observer, but I can see this on the minimap, and I mean, if that overlord does actually see that cloak, that is huge. I mean, even if it's a fake cloak, you still need to get spores just in case, and I think he does see it. He's seen it. Okay, he's seen it. He's seen exactly what's going down. And he's got 2 Evos on the way that are almost done. They're done now. So he should throw down a couple of spores. He does see the Banshee at the front. He uses 2... Okay, he's got Roaches and Queens at the front. He's throwing down spores now, so he does repel this Hellion Banshee pressure pretty easily and gets up good creep spread. So for Thorzane, sadly, this opening doesn't look like it's going to do much damage unless he gets pretty lucky. And I'm scared for Thorzane at this point, because Sword Of's opening has been pretty safe. It's very Stefano-esque. His initial Banshee took roughly 60 damage of health from those 2 Queens at the front, and he's already got spores in position. The only one that isn't is at his third, and now he's putting it into position. So really, really, really solid, good, clean, calculated play by Sword Of. Let's see. So an Infestation Pit going down, and a Macro Hatch going down in the main too. He's got his Spore Crawler, he's moving it into a better position in his main. Or is it going to be a better position? Okay, the Banshees do fly right into the Spore Crawler. Just take 2 hits or so. The Spore Crawlers don't do a ton of damage, but he does know it's Cloak now. Okay, it is Cloak. The drones are under fire now, and these Banshees need to kill roughly 10 or so drones to make this worthwhile. And I mean, there's no Spore. Is there no Spore in the natural? Wow, these Banshees are going to do a lot of damage. Holy shit. Thorzane's way ahead in supply now. And Thorzane... Oh my gosh, that is really bad. Okay, 1 Banshee down, but Sword Of's already taken a lot of damage. And he hasn't been mining at his main. Oh my gosh. He killed 21 workers. So he harassed with Banshees, and then went into the 3rd base with Hellions. Where were those Roaches? Where were his Roaches? They were out of position, so Thorzane, being the scientist Terran that he is, just totally took out everything. Very smart play. He was so worried about Sword Of was so worried about the Banshees in the main. I was so worried about the Banshees in the main for Sword Of, but those did a lot of damage. Wow, so yeah, good creep spread by Sword Of, but Thorzane's now on 3 bases, very safe 3 bases too. He scouted that it was an Infestation Pit, and if you do go Infestors that early, you don't usually apply pressure that early. So Thorzane can macro, get everything very safely up, get up to the 14-minute mark when his 2-2 is fully upgraded, and then start applying pressure, although his upgrades are a little bit late this game, so they'll probably be finished by the 15-minute mark, but the damage has been done. He's at 130 supply against 95, getting 2-2. Zerg's also getting 2-2. Zerg's trying to get a 4th too. It's a smart move trying to get a 4th. Since Infest is a very defensive play, Thorzane's a kind of safe player too, so... But Thorzane's trying to deny creep at this point with a handful of Marines, which is good. Roaches do intersect. So Thorzane scouts that there is a 4th, so he knows he needs to start pushing that 4th base. Thorzane, does he have medevacs? He's producing 2 medevacs. I don't know if those are his first 2 medevacs at this point. Lots of Marines trying to kill. Oh, a fungal does land on these Marines without combat shield, so a lot of Marines do die. Roughly 10. And that may not sound like a huge amount, but that's enough to whittle down this army to make it feel so much more vulnerable. But that was nice by Thorzane. Tried to get a snipe on that 4th hatch. And he's setting up... this is a really key position to siege. You have control of the Xel'Naga Tower. That's huge. You can see things that come down the left side, the right side, anywhere, or up front. One of the big things too is he's sieging up behind these bushes. Sword Of has no idea what's happening at the Xel'Naga Tower, but he is going for kind of a... He has a lot of Lings available, and Sword Of's just trying to... What is this doing? These Lings just ran into lots of tanks. That was really silly. So he just lost roughly 10 supply of Lings, which is like 20 Lings, at least, running into tanks. One thing you want to not do is run into tanks, because... Especially not with your whole army, or your whole group of Lings, especially when you're trying to get an army. But Thorzane's just denying creep a lot. This is really smart by him. A lot of Terrans don't do this, where he just sends out a little squad, even though he's not pushing the left side. He's still denying creep on the left side, and now he's applying pressure on the right side with drops. This is smart. His 3rd's got a nice supply depot wall. Thorzane's... He didn't raise the wall in time! There are Lings in the 3rd base! Lings are going to get everywhere now, this is crazy! Okay, so Thorzane's having to fall back kind of. There's Lings in his main, there's Lings in his natural, they're all in his natural now, and I mean, these are quite a few... These are going to be quite a few dead SCVs. He's applying pressure. Oh, that was... So yeah, these Lings are doing quite a bit of damage in the natural and third of Thorzane, and this has bought sort of time. He's going for Ultralisk, he's on 4 bases. He's still denying pressure, and Thorzane's army is no longer, like, applying pressure anymore. It was back at his base, and did sort of buy himself the time that he needed? I have no idea, but Thorzane's 160 supply against 145. He's not got 3-3 underway. He's down on minerals kind of thing. He's got no intention of taking a 4th base by the looks of it. He's just powering units out. And Swordov's actually getting 3-3, adrenal glands. He'll be... Oh, he does have a 4th. It is flying over to the 4th right now, so this is not an all-in by Thorzane by any means, but his 3rd is not mining any minerals. He only has 52 SCVs on the field. What's Swordov doing? Swordov's actually fighting. Swordov's trying to break this. He's trying to break this, and I mean, Banelings connect, Fungal connect, but this was... Why break now? Why? Swordov, why? You are... Okay, so it's in fact that actually went kind of okay for Swordov. 145 supply to 145 supply, and Swordov's the guy with the 4th base that's fully saturated and stuff, and Thorzane's the one that needs to apply pressure. Thorzane's walking up the cliff now, coming from behind the bushes, but Swordov's actually killing a lot of Marines here. Lost 2 Infestors to tank shots, but he's killing Marines with Fungals, Banelings, and Ultras are going to pop out soon within the next 30 seconds or so. And Swordov's trying to hang in there with just Banelings, Lings, and Infestors, but these tanks are positioned so nicely at the bottom of this cliff behind this grass that Swordov just can't trade efficiently at this point. A few Banelings do connect, but wow. 4 Ultralisks on the way, 4 Ultralisks on the way. Fungals coming out, Infestors coming out. Swordov actually takes the supply lead at this point, takes out a tank, takes out Marines. 140 supply to 130. This looks like a very similar situation to what was happening the last game between these two players. But Thorzane, if he takes out this 4th, this is huge. This could keep him completely in the game. But what's Swordov going to do? Swordov has no other 4th. So Swordov's left on 3 bases trying to get 3-3. And Thorzane took his 4th, got a planetary up there. Oh, and Ultras actually just popped out and tried to engage a whole Thorzane by himself. That didn't go very well, and Thorzane's actually got himself into a nice position again. 150 supply Thorzane to 137, or 150, wow. Sword of supply just skyrocketed. So we have a lot of tanks by Thorzane. He's got 3 factories producing. Swordov's actually trying to go for a counter by the looks of it on this 3rd base, this supply depot wall. And the depot wall is up, so it won't be getting... Oh, 1 depot was down. 1 depot was down, so a few Lings do get in. And Swordov takes the supply lead again. 170 supply to 150 of Thorzane. But he does kind of engage into tanks a little bit wrongly. These Lings in the 3rd are doing a lot of damage to SCVs. Workers killed 28 to 28. Completely even. But these Lings are doing damage, and now Swordov's engaging the 4th base, which is a planetary, running Infestors into this planetary. The planetary actually takes out 2 Infestors, but a huge Fungal lands on SCVs, and lots of SCVs do die. But the 4th does stay alive by Thorzane, and Swordov's trying to retake his 4th now, and he is doing. He's got a large army, 166 supply for Swordov against 140 of Thorzane. Thorzane's trying to hang in there, and Thorzane's... Oh, a huge mistake by Swordov, runs into roughly 8 tanks with like 4 Ultras and loses 2 of them instantly. Even though that may not sound huge, the supply is now 158 to 146. And again, running into tanks. What's he doing? What's he doing? This is not enough army for Swordov to be running into this number of tanks. The tanks are perfectly split by Thorzane, and I guess these Ultras do kind of clean up, but more reinforcements coming in by Thorzane, and Thorzane does repel this fight. This is a really close game, and yet again, but Thorzane is a 4-base Terran against a 3-base Zerg. He's having to produce SCVs, and at this stage in the game, 20 minutes into the game, that's not really what you want to be doing, but he has to at this point. He's lost so many to these Ling run-bys. And again, Swordov going in for these attacks. Ultras, 4 tanks unsieged. He is going to lose these 4 tanks almost immediately. And now the Banelings run in. Banelings getting focused by the tanks, but these Ultras are cleaning up these tanks. And 8 tanks down by Swordov in that attack, losing roughly 10 Banelings and like 2 Ultras. So that was a very good trade for Swordov, but is getting ridiculously close now. The 4th base is up by Swordov by the looks of it. And Swordov hasn't really lost that many workers in the last 10 minutes or so, so yeah, this is tough. But yeah, Thorzane's in a pretty decent position. He knows how many bases Swordov is on, and when it gets scary, that's when a Zerg's on 4 to 5 or 6 bases, you know. At this point, he's limited to 4. His main's probably mined out, and Thorzane is producing 3 tanks at a time. He knows that Swordov doesn't have the money to tech switch into Ultras, so he's getting level 3 attack upgrades on tanks, and he's producing 3 tanks at a time. He's got a huge bioflock available, and He's getting into that nice money position again at the bottom of that cliff. But sort of, it looks like he's going for a kind of flank here with lots of Ultraliths, Lings, Banelings, Infested Terrans land on the siege tanks, and sort of no Fungals available though, but there's so many Lings available. But Thorzane is actually holding pretty well. 140 supplied by Thorzane against 130 of sort of. And these, now it's down to like the low numbers where Thorzane has beautiful, beautiful, exquisite micro, and 136 supply for Thorzane, 132 for Sword of. Sword of's trying to reproduce like a madman. 74 drones to 64 SCVs. But Thorzane's macro is so clean, and I mean, dropping the 4th base continuously of sort of with just 2 Marines, and I mean, this may sound like pretty silly, but if he can pick off 1 drone like every drop that he does, I think he's picked off roughly 6 drones with that 2-man drop throughout the whole game. And we have at the top left 3 Marines trying to kill drones, and sort of actually long distance mining. Thorzane's actually engaging. I mean, sort of engaged the tower, picked off 3 tanks, and yet again, so the tank count is at 2. He's producing 3 tanks at a time still, but there's a lot of bio. But there isn't that many Zerglings. You need Zerglings to deal with bio efficiently. You need to kind of grab them with the Zerglings, and the Ultras then kind of do the work, and the Fungals obviously do Fungals. So Thorzane's finally getting to a point where he's establishing himself. He's 166 supply against 150, but sort of just not giving him the time of day. And these Ultras, there's like a single rogue Ultralist just taking out a single tank, which was a nice move by sort of. So this is the kind of guy that's hungry for this win. They're both doing everything they can to try and establish themselves as the WCS Swedish champion. And he's going for a fight. Sort of's going for a fight. He's going into the Zelnaga tower, and yet again, are Fungals going to land? No, there's no Fungals. There's 2 Infested Terrans that get spewed out. And Thorzane, again, 160 supply against 140 at this point. This incredible play by Thorzane. And Thorzane, is he going to counterattack at this point? No, he stays at the tower. He's proper spoon tearing it right now. He throws up a few units to the top left just to kill this long distance mining set of units. And Thorzane does actually have concussive shell on his Marauders. This is huge against Banelings, Lings, you name it. And I mean, sort of trying to attack again with Ultraliths, but a few of them are very unhealthy. And the tanks lowered down again, but there's no... Oh, there's Fungals available this time, but he has to back off in yet again. And Thorzane's army is just staying the same size, whereas Sword of's is slowly wearing away. And it looks like Thorzane's actually going in for this money spot again on the 4th base. He's denied the apparent 5th base, and now he is actually applying pressure to this 4th base of Sword of. Sword of actually has a lot of Ultralists available, but Thorzane has the perfect anti-Ultralist army. We have tanks with 3-0 attack upgrades, we have bio with 3-3, and we just have a lot of Thorzane available, sort of kind of engaging this at the worst point possible, and Thorzane looks like he will be taking this fight. 170 supply against 130, but the Ultras again just doing so much damage, so much splitting by Thorzane, but the Ultras are getting weighed down finally. These Ultras are dropping, transfusions going down, the tanks are taken out, but Thorzane 175 supply against 130. He's finally getting that lead that he's needed the whole game. He actually establishes himself a 5th base too by uplifting his main, putting it to his 5th. So this is a crazy series between these two. Crazy series. Thorzane 180 supply against 130. Sort of looks like he's busting through. He's even using drones in this fight, but 170 supply against 120. Is he going to break him? Is he going to break him? No, he's not. Thorzane does hold. The drones are the last thing standing, and they are the things that are going to die. 170 supply against 100. Sort of is dying. So many medevacs, so many bio left on the field. Lots of tanks. GG, well played. Gratz is called. And Thorzane, again, proving himself to be the best Swedish player there is. Holy shit. Thorzane is good, man. There's EG in control on the stage. Thorzane, huge sigh of relief, and that was tough, man. That was a tough game to try and win. But Thorzane, the man he is. What a good player. His hair's funny right now. It's really fluffy. Looks like he conditioned it. High-fiving people on the way. Comes and hugs Jeffrey, and yet again. What a good player. What a good player. So yeah, guys, that was EG Thorzane slapping some hoes. Yeah, he's very good. He is very good. Okay, so yeah, guys, that was Thorzane against Sort of. Gonna tweet my boy. EG.DeMusliM. That was cool. Like, sort of played really, really well, but Thorzane just played that little bit better. Okay guys, so I'm just going to take a little break, and then I'll actually get on to playing some games with you guys. So I hope you enjoyed the casting, and yeah, I'll be closing that stream for now. In fact, I want to listen to Thorzane. I want to see what he says, this little hoe. What does this win mean? Thorzane's so cool, man. So yeah, this is where Thorzane won DreamHack, and he wins WCS Sweden, so Thorzane's accumulated 2 pretty damn big wins on this stage alone. For sure the best Swedish player. Without shadow of doubt, that guy's just insane. And guys, I tried not to be too biased with that casting. I hope you enjoyed it. I will get to playing some games pretty soon. I can't give Thorzane a post note on how to raise depots. It's also something that I suck at. Okay, guys, okay, so Thorzane's the beast, man. Okay guys, so we're back. Yeah, okay. Load up. Oh, I had I started loading up my European client, so I needed to patch my European client because I wanted to talk to Thorzane in between games. But it took a while to patch and I forgot, and I just decided to stream anyway. Thorzane! Okay, let's close that now. So yeah, DreamHack once again proving why they're such a good company. They host such good shows. Oh, I'm not online on TL? That sucks. I'll put it online now. Did Bryce just get in? Okay guys. We'll start playing some games now. I just heard Greg sigh, and whenever that happens there's a Protoss on his screen. There's some funny commercial on Pandora running, but either way, it happens. So guys, I'm gonna start playing some games. I'll do some questions in between. Okay, so I'm streaming. Been streaming a lot the last few days. It's been good. It's been fun. Some guy, or people keep asking me what's the RC at the end of my name. Well, most EG players participating in tournaments, and when I say most, I mean all, should be wearing the RC at the end of their logo. It is our new title sponsor, also known as Raid Call. Raid Call is a program that's very similar to Ventrilo, has all the benefits and none of the weaknesses. And it's also like a text chat program. Raid Call also titles, or they also sponsor Fnatic. You'll see Fnatic RC, whoever, and EG.DeMusliM or EG.IDRA RC. Any company that's willing to pump a lot of money into esports, we should be thanking, we should be supporting. They support us. But yeah, it's a program. It's very similar to Ventrilo with text chat also available. And yeah, you should try it out. It's really good actually. Been using it the last few nights when I go on a team chat and such, and yeah, it's really good. I might actually just start using it to communicate with people in the house actually, instead of talking to them vocally, just because it's better. And besides that, yeah, I've just been having a lot of fun practicing for, what's it called? ASUS and Gamescom. We'll be over in Europe for roughly 3 weeks or so. Hopefully I'm going to do well. I feel pretty good in my matchups. So yeah, I'm really proud of Florzane, really happy to watch that happen, really happy. I wish I was like there to cast him, like playing. Such a pleasure to cast somebody that I actually know how he plays, how he feels about certain things and stuff, because we've actually had conversations about a lot of what went on, and I feel that's one thing that isn't really explained that much amidst casters. I'm just going to make sure that is the overlay working. One sec. So yeah, that's one of the things that I was kind of miss when I watch a lot of games. Casters, while it's very easy to talk about what you see, in fact probably isn't, because a lot of them get it wrong. One of the things is, I want to know what I don't see too, and one of the things I feel that a lot of pro gamers can bring to the table when analysing is exactly that, like showing what you don't see. And some of the things are those conversations that I've had with like pro gamers as to why they do what they do, what they feel about it and such. That's just missed from a lot of casters' perspectives and the way that they cast, and I feel that that adds a lot to gameplay, or a lot to the viewer's experience of the game. Like, adds personality, it adds like what they dislike. Because Florzane, what do I know about him as a player? I know he's really nice. I know he's called the Spoon Terran. I know that he's been said to like slow play, but what do I really know about him? The answer is like, well, you're not bound to know a lot, because casters don't really tell you a lot about him, apart from like, man, he's the Spoon Terran, he's so freaking good at this, blah blah. And yeah, he is so freaking good at this, but why is he good at this? Like, what got him to be good at that and stuff? It's nice to hear about those kind of things, which is what I like to provide. So yeah, I don't know much about Sorlov apart from he's teammates with Ziktamini, who I played in the finals of WCS Sweden. He's a good player, he's up and coming, he's been around for a little while now. And any player that can get to the finals of WCS Sweden, or finals of a WCS in general, is a good player. Don't like to count any of them out. Because yeah, you have to be good to do what Sortub just did, which is deal with some of the best players in the very world. So yeah, Thorzain on his run to the finals. He actually had a really hard bracket. I remember talking to him on raid call about some things, such as he has Moro first round, he has to play Naniwa, like him and Naniwa are on the same side of the grid, and he kind of looked at Naniwa as like, Naniwa's the guy that, when Thorzain's called King of the North and such, Naniwa hates it. Naniwa absolutely despises it. But it's pretty much proven now. Thorzain's just a really, really freaking good player. But yeah, he wasn't happy about having Naniwa on the same side of the grid as him. After playing Moro, who's actually good in CVT. He had to play Bishu second round. Didn't have to play Sase, which is quite nice, since Sase's a good player. Oh, that's... Oh, sugar. This is quite a weird build by our friend here. Oh, sugar. So that was an unusual opening by our friend here. Bangling Nest. He's already got a Roach Warren. He's got a third base. So he's playing pretty standard actually. Nothing too dodgy. Ooh. So more roaches coming out. Let's join the fray. I want to try and sneak a few kills here. That wasn't meant to kill him or anything, by the way. That's just meant to deal a little bit of damage, or kind of worry him more than anything. What is this? Oh. I didn't see any shooting at anything there. Oh.
Additional supply depots required. All SCVs on the attack.
Looks like guy's actually got quite a lot of stuff.
Base is under attack.
I didn't realise he had this base. Puts me in a bit of a bad spot.
Additional supply depots required.
So he's totally giving up this base. Because I'm worried about what's coming next. Okay, Ultraless. Okay, got fungled like crazy. Whew.
to embark on a musical journey of Texas proportions. The new Texas Beat Station plays a
Okay.
wide variety of Lone Star tunes.
I'm using the Siberias.
And everything in between. Add it or click on the banner to explore the great state of Texas.
Oh. Okay, this is Crank. Slayer's Crank. Nice guy. Very good Protoss. Any server got a lot harder with like the Koreans coming over. And to avoid speculation as to why he's playing on an A, he told me the other day that he played on it because it's very early in Korea, and so like the players, everybody's asleep, so it's just easier to find fast games here.
Additional supplies depots required. Not enough minerals.
Okay, so basically TVP Cloud Kingdom is pretty tough. Reasons being, like, Warpin Zealots can come from like here, around to your natural, come from over here. Like, pylons around the map are really tough. I'm just gonna have that SCV kind of harass him a little bit, because I don't want him to attack that probe too much. I mean that SCV too much. That probe follows that SCV. Okay, it's not following that SCV. So he's sitting around here somewhere. And he will want to deny this for as long as possible. So now that probe will die. And he has gone for Nexus first. What do I do in this position? Cry. Really, really hard. Okay, no I don't. Deal with it. Deal with it, son. Even though I can't kill that Zealot with what I have. I'm just pretending like to attack him, but I have more than I have. My game's... Okay, so given that that's full,
Insufficient rescue gas.
I'm gonna try and deny his vision from those multitude of bunkers for a little while.